all the lies of the enemy is being defeated right now by heaven. Everything that they try to do against us or try to lie on us in any way um, is defeated. It's going to fail them completely. The more they try to act like they're us or something like that, the more they're going to fail completely. It's just simply not going to work for them because they don't have that spirit in them. They can't pretend to be me or be the one to go and do what it is I'm supposed to go do. They're just condemned for that. That's simple as that. And it really does come down to this. Hey, do you know how to go on down the damn road? Do you understand what go to hell means? You're not going to be able to justify chasing after, trying to oppress someone, trying to force them into being with you or staying with you. That's not going to happen. That's just going to continue to fail and fail and fail and fail, and you fall away from us. You can't force us to choose you. Again, we're the day, and it is our prerogative to choose us, the day, which is what we've chosen, to be the day, with the day, going the way of the day. And we're improving on a daily basis. I remember someone making a comment about, and before I go on, just let me just say amen to that. In the name of the Prince of Peace and our Father who art in heaven, amen. Somebody was saying the other day about good, being good. Well, what I can tell you is, you've heard me talk about that core personality type of thing where, locked inside, deep beneath all the other junk that's been going on, is this other person in this other reality who knows things, it seems like. And the main themes are of loyalty. A lot of themes of loyalty come through. And what I do know is that even if you are without knowledge, it's not a lot to do with what's in your heart, okay? It's what you're after, okay? You're looking for power and control and in the material world, well, then, okay, you're on that path. But the other path, when you're committed and loyal to whenever I'm committed and loyal to what I am, and it's what I feel and it's what I understand, and it just is right, natural, and good for me, which is, leads me to the good because it leads me to being more awake and more aware, and that leads me to the good, which is the God, which is the real goal after all. I don't know, I see that the other crazy people are out there just yammering on and on and on as though there's an argument. Okay, there's no argument. It's goodbye, and that's all there is to it. It is only goodbye, and there's no reason to argue about anything because no one was listening to anything I said, and plus there was no conversation. We never had a conversation. We never had a relationship. Again, this whole thing that went on here, that's all the darkness. It was not done with my consent, and it was all grifter, con artist stuff. Everyone of light knows that. All the white people know this. They know who's the white child here and those that are not. So, we're just going to continue on as the day. Be in the day without the other, without the darkness, shadow, or night. Because we don't have to take on anyone that we don't want to. We're not compelled to be in a relationship of any sort. Kingdom spouse stuff, as far as I can discern, is completely and totally satanic. And from what I saw, it was only their, last ditch effort to force some type of, it's not even by choice or anything, to force a form of salvation rather than going through the process of earning it. And that doesn't work. We don't accept kingdom spouses unless they were brought to me by the good God of light and life, the actual heaven. But then that would all go easy. They'd be like, "Hi, Tom. What do you need me to do?" It wouldn't be a competition of any sort, especially not to figure out who the man is. since the man is the man, and you're not the man unless you've got the man in you, and that's just as simple as it gets. Just like you're not in love with anybody and can't say that you are in a love relationship of any sort if you don't have any love in you to love. You can't claim that. There's no one of the darkness that can claim me. And I'm stating that again in the name of the truth and the light and the life, in the name of the Prince of Peace. And I say again, who our Father who art in heaven, amen, amen, amen. Let it be that none of them that's not today can claim me. Because it's just not supposed to be. Again, it's just, we're not going to be playing by the rules of darkness because we're not the darkness. We're not of that group. So, again, you can have your little court sessions in darkness and decide this, that, or another, but we're not of the darkness. So we're not going to be participating in any of that. We're going to continue rising and going further above. Completely, we're supposed to be completing in a very short period now this transition into the next phase, the next level, I suppose we could say, and that will be where the once that's completed, then these lines that they keep trying to connect to me and all these doors and stuff they keep trying to open to me will be finally shut. And we will finally reach that place that's safe from all that is not me, all that darkness, all of the kingdom of darkness, the hate, all the friends of hate and such, the magic, all that's black. Because we're white. And if we're not white, then we're blue, just as blue as anything could be. But those are, that's what we're about. The spirit, the light. So yeah, kingdom spouses, no, we of course rebuke and renounce and repudiate any such things. And of course, any form of contractual agreement between me and the darkness, we repudiate that completely and totally. And charge them with false accusations and a whole lot of other stuff, because everything they've done regarding me is criminal. They're very much guilty criminally. But hey, how about this? You go your way and I'll go my way, and you just let it go. What, like we've been saying for years and years and years and years. Since we told them goodbye back in, well, God, I don't know, at least over 15 years ago. I know there's evidence to support it too. But then we've been saying goodbye basically day in and day out for the last 16 or 17 years, right? And there's all kinds of record of that, of what we've been praying day in and day out. And it certainly wasn't that we form a stronger bond between us and the enemy that had sought to murder us. So no, we and of course the damage that was done to us was witnessed by others before they all started to cover it back up. It was witnessed by others. So there's witnesses to what was done. But yeah, so we're just going to go on the way of the day, with the day, and be happy and content here in my daylight here. And there's things that they have for us to do that doesn't include the enemies. I know that people talk about purpose and mission and all that kind of stuff. Well, we're going to just be us, be the day, and get to whatever the show is or game that we're supposed to be getting into, and connect with the people that we're supposed to be connected with, and go from there. Basically, I think it's just going to turn out the way it's supposed to. Basically, essentially, could it have turned out better? Yeah, I'm quite sure of that. But hey, I'm just happy to be getting on up there, and grateful that I do have good friends and that I am loved. Like I said before, I think it would be better to be loved rather than to be powerful. Now, after being with a whole bunch of snakes and stuff, They could change your mind on that. It depends sort of on your environment almost. But still, I maintain it's better to be loved and by the right ones, because the only thing that makes you special is them who love you. Those that love you and are committed to you and is loyal to you. That's sort of what does define a person. Whenever you talk about ego and such, and you strip away the persona that I played here in the world, um, being Tom, and all that, and with his little wants and likes and such. Um, there's still this spiritual thing past that. Once the material world goes away, then there's all these other things that just, oh, it's that. Oh, I see that you're not me at all. And while I float to the door of light above, you're scuttling along the wall. Uh-oh, we're starting to rhyme again. I was a little disappointed today. I tuned into one that I acknowledged. Sadly, I in error, I guess I did. And they lit into the rant of darkness. And I guess it was something that was written by a feminist or something from some time ago. And it was only, here's a great big bunch of complaints. In other words, they were bitching and moaning. Women are so, the basic assertion is women are screwed over and are completely and totally oppressed on every turn, in every way, in other words. And all I can say is, well, sweetheart, what you ought to do is go ahead and advance your ass on out into a world of just women. After you get there, though, I'll guarantee you this. After you get there and you've been there for a little while, you'll understand why this other world thing that you don't like is in place. Because there's actual real benefits to it. Now, if you're of the pre-programmed hateful mindset that I have a complaint, a grievance, then you're already sucked into something that is not enlightenment, honey, because it's not all light and love. Whenever you stand around going, and I have this, and let's see what I wrote here. If they're stuck in grievance and the wrong thought of argument, without actual consideration or appreciation of the other side and the purposes for society and humanity continuing, they're not enlightened, but instead only another seeker of power and control, like most people of, I'd say most people of the darkness, because they're steered in that way, motivated by hurt, probably, some form of hurt, emotional hurt, probably. There might have been an actual event where something bad was done to them, a trauma of some sort, and that's where the bad ones step in. Remember, they can't steer you onto the dark path, okay, of anger, unless they can give you something to be angry about. So you can be personally offended or offended together as a group, okay? This has all been lined out in history many times of how the devil works. And I even wrote about it in the book, and they used the formula perfectly. And it is just what it is, especially if you don't have the balancing light to bring actual enlightenment to the thought. Because the thing of it is like, are things not perfect and good for this group? That's right, they're not. Or are they not perfect and good for that group? That's right. It's all these different groups have complaints and problems, and women in general are going to feel that things are like this or that, and men in general are going to feel that gee whiz, I'm oppressed like these things and those things. Now, these counterparts, these what are supposed to be complementary aspects to one another, could be teamed with one another and console one another in that walk. They could edify each other. They could bolster one another. They could be the mutual admiration society that it was meant to be. But of course, you see, both of those people need to be of the same God. Okay? They truly do. Of the same spirit. Of the spirit of peace, let's say, the Prince of Peace. They both have to be, and that's why the man has to be the leader in that, because he's automatically going to be plugged in a lot harder with the man. Okay? Just automatically. And so once that's done, then you can get rid of the anger, because you know that's your enemy. And then the two of you can walk together. Remember, holy matrimony was two becoming one, right? And you become this perfected work for heaven, the Lord above. Spiritually, how you guys have blended and matured together. You see what I'm saying? All right. So, or you can fall into the other thing of, oh, I've got a grievance and I'm a part of a group that's unhappy and they have things to say and complain. And they have no understanding of why they're in that group even. Okay? Whenever you're talking about your Indian system of karma or whatever, because it's so much easier for you to digest, because it just sort of makes you all, God, and there's no real rules set down that you can find that subjugates men or women to the other. And yeah. Well, listen, you even yourself, you would sit there and say, this is a complicated system, blah, 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 blah. And all these levels and these things and the considerations, etc., and so forth, and all these personalities and blah, 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 blah. Are you not picking up on the fact that that whole system, okay, and the systems of regulation that limits and dictates the operational parameters of that, thereby determining which ones rise and which ones fall and which ones have to go back and which ones go on up to never have to okay, that's designed, and it's designed, get this, in a very rational way. Very rational. It's not just, it's not, ooh, I'll feel my way into heaven. Okay, because if you're carrying around a whole bunch of, I am a woman and I need to be vindicated against all man, well, you really stepped in it there, and you've gone down a crazy path, and you're running with a shadow of some sort that's got you riddled with an issue or issues. That's not what you're going for. Remember, the Prince of Peace, the good God of light and life, him who has no darkness within him, gives and takes. He's the God who can give and take. He can give to you and he can take from you. You can have him take from you your anger. Now, again, he's not just a helper who's expecting you to pay him back and stuff. He's expecting you to join in and be with him in his house, his family. And no, we don't want you just to say, well, I'll follow you and sort of, see if you can develop me into a better kind of God, which, in effect, if you do, you're probably going to get there. But he doesn't want to just live in your heart either. He wants to live in you. He wants you. He wants all of you. And he wants you to say, I am for you, all that I am. Not just this life, but all that I am, my soul. Body, mind, spirit. And that's what he would truly like. And that's what's best and most rewarded, I do believe. And it's difficult to do. That's why a lot of people, they step into that water with, with a toe, going, I'd like to know if you're real. Something like that. But again, if you can rise above what you've been programmed to be personally offended by, okay, and look at the design and see why it's there, then you can see the thing between the men and the women thing. That's what's been going on again, children, is not a war of the sexes. It's a war between darkness and light, day and night. That's all. That's all. Were women made in such a way that they were, in essence, made the followers instead of the leaders? Yeah, it is. Now, why? Why though? Why? Why would society, in all across the world, everywhere in the world, be a male-centered society? Why? Is there any problems? See, if you believe, oh no, it's women are the superior, then you have bought into that extreme thinking that is what comes from quote unquote the goddess, which I guarantee it's nothing divine. It's just going to lead you to again. You must be as young as you look. Is what I'm thinking. For you to even read such a thing aloud, and to do so with passion and commitment. It's like you've never lived, have you? Look around at the other ladies, I mean, the ones that aren't switching back from, getting to 50 and going, well, I'm abandoning this life and going with something else. Because those people are, aren't really real people anyway, are they? Which ones are glitches? Which ones are players? And which ones are non-player characters? Would the elect be NPCs? Would the principals and principalities involved all be non-player characters? They're just pre-programmed things. They can't help themselves. They have a nature. They're going to follow it. They can't break out of it. Just like everything in me says, well, no, we're never going to accept a union of any sort with anything that's not day. Why would I do that? I don't hate myself. God love you and God keep you. We're looking forward to seeing you again real soon.